Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was picked by Big O Nerd. The original OP is Lowly Knights, posted to r/MyTheAsshole, r/Redditor updates, and their profile. Originally posted October 28th, 2025, with the newest update being June 15th, 2026. Am I the asshole for not wanting my dad to walk me on my senior night since he won't let me move back in? Okay, so first off, I do feel bad about complaining about all of this. I'm just a middle-class American teenager. Like, I have a car and both my parents are well off and own homes. I'm not living in Gaza or anything terrible like that, I get it. But I'm 18 female and a senior in high school. I have straight A's and a full ride to a university next year. It's not my dream school, but I know I'll end up going there because the economy is terrible, and while my parents are okay money-wise, free is free. My parents are divorced and remarried, and my dad has been with my stepmom for a while, and my mom and stepdad have been together about 5 years. A few months ago, I was diagnosed with a tick-borne disease, and can't have red meat products. It's terrible, and I get so sick if I have anything. I miss steak. But a few weeks ago, the night before a dance, my dad was making dinner. I was at his house on one of the days I normally wouldn't be because my mom was out of town, and I don't like staying alone. He made my little brother's favorite meal that I didn't know had beef stock in it. Just to clarify, since I'd never read the meal, I asked if it was okay to eat, and he said yes. Later, when I got sick, he checked the recipe again, and felt terrible, and admitted there was beef stock, and he forgot. That's obviously not his fault, but later when I was sick, we started fighting about the dance. I got super sick and had to miss my senior fall dance, which I know isn't the end of the world, but it really felt like it was, and I got into a huge fight with my dad. He called me spoiled and high maintenance, and I know I said things like I hate him and he doesn't care about me, and left to stay at my mom's. We'd fought before, and I'd cooled off and went back to his house on my normal day, thinking we'd just apologize to one another like normal, but when I got there, he told me that he'd packed up my room into trash bags, and that he wasn't going to take abuse from his adult child. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. I was crying a bunch, and my stepmom was yelling at my dad. She gave me one of her credit cards and told me to call her if I ever needed anything, and I've been staying at my mom's ever since, which isn't great. She and her husband kind of do their own thing, and I just feel like I bother them. I recently broke up with my boyfriend too, and he's been kind of bothering me, and I asked my dad to tell him to stop, but he told me I needed to deal with my own issues on my own. So, I asked my stepdad, which was embarrassing because I don't know him very well, and I don't know if he even fixed the situation, and seemed annoyed until my mom finally talked to my ex. He finally left me alone, but now his friends keep messing with me online and in person at school. My senior night for my team is this weekend. I wanted my dad there, and told him I'd buy him lunch this past weekend to talk. I told him I knew that what I said was wrong, and I wasn't trying to make excuses, but I was feeling so bad and was so upset about the dance, and him calling me high maintenance and spoiled also hurt. He said he knew that emotions were high, but I was an adult now, and actions had consequences. I get that, but if I was the first teenager to fight with her parents, I would understand. I'm a good kid. I have a scholarship and a job, and I know kids who have gotten like DUIs and their parents still love them and let them live with them. He said he loved me, but I needed to learn consequences, and that he'd still go to my senior night, but I told him, don't bother. I had wanted all four of them to walk me, but now I just want to walk myself. I don't feel supported by any of them and just paid and went to leave. He told me that if I didn't let him walk me at my senior night, I could kiss ever moving back in with him ever again. I told him that was fine. I was just so done trying to convince him that I was worthy of living in his house. If my parents weren't divorced, it wouldn't even be a question if I'm allowed to live with my own dad. I'm fine with my decision. I have so many other things going on. My ex's friends are giving me problems. I'm playing like garbage anyways, and will probably be benched soon, so it doesn't matter. But my grandparents and even my stepmom have called and asked me to answer my dad's calls and talk to him, and have said that I've upset him. I'm not trying to upset them, but I just am not in a good place to deal with all of this with him right now, and don't want anyone there. There's a part of me that doesn't even want to walk that night. Top and relevant comments. User boxed feetsies. Not the asshole. Your dad made a very heated and drastic move. His actions have consequences too. If he truly wanted to try to make amends, he'd find a proper way instead of guilt-tripping you through family members. Try to control your temper in heat-of-the-moment situations next time, and don't let people who don't make you feel supported and successful ruin your moments like your grad walk. Opie responds, it's not for graduation, it's for a senior night since I'm on a varsity team. I generally do control my temper. Everything is just so overwhelming right now, and I feel so sick. He just doesn't understand how bad the food makes me feel. User Avocado Jazz like 3670 comments, downvoted. I don't get it. He said he'd come and you told him no. Why? You wanted him there. Why did you tell him no? Because he said you can't live with him? You need to mend the relationship before you can move back in. While I think he's wrong to be so demanding, I feel like your emotions are all over and you're very reactive. You're making matters worse for yourself. He's being a jerk, yes, but you definitely aren't helping yourself. Opie responds, yes, that's why I invited him, apologized again, and even bought him lunch, but he said he still wouldn't let me move back in and still won't help me with my ex harassing me, and I was just sitting there, like, wait, why do I even want him there on my special night? Like, I get he doesn't like me. I know neither of my parents do because to them, I'm too much like the other one for them to ever actually really love me. But I thought if I sat there and apologized and begged him for help, he'd at least care. And he didn't. User Bibliophile with coffee comments. Downvoted, by the way. Everyone sucks here. You are publicly showcasing your disappointment in your dad. You also have to own some stuff. He did overreact, but you were at his house on a night you normally wouldn't be, so it was him making your little brother's favorite meal, not something he would normally make for you. You didn't take the onus to ask if it had red meat byproducts, and then you got mad at him for your lack of responsibility. You were behaving like a spoiled and high-maintenance person, expecting them to meal plan things you can eat even on days you aren't supposed to be there. You told your father that you hate him because you missed a dance. You literally said, I hate you, to someone that has loved and provided for you, because he was making his son their favorite meal. You are some and missed a dance. Words have consequences. Now you are going to double down and publicly shame him because you don't feel like he has groveled enough. You might not be a troubled teen with DUIs, but you sound exhausting, entitled, and incredibly spoiled. Opie responds, yes, but I asked him if there was any red meat in the meal and he said no. I was going to make myself something else, but was starving after practice and it smelled good, so I had it. When I got sick, he remembered the broth. I have found some easy things I can make and even bought them myself for both houses so they don't have to change their lives for me. If he said there was beef products in it, I would have just eaten that. This is my last dance, and my, now ex, was angry I was going to miss it, and was making me feel bad. I know I shouldn't have gotten angry, but it was really upsetting, and he wouldn't even comfort me when I was sick because he was annoyed. User Difficult Bus 6026, downvoted. Not the asshole, but you should take your father's calls and give him the chance to reconcile with you. Obviously, you know whatever nasty things you said to him hurt him. Apologize for that, while also emphasizing how serious your health condition is. You made a mistake regarding what you said to him during that argument, but he made a mistake not taking your health situation seriously. Opie responds, I've apologized enough times. I even bought him lunch to apologize. The only thing he apologized to me about was forgetting the stock. Not calling me names, treating my stuff like garbage, or ignoring me when I was begging him to help with my ex who wouldn't leave me alone. I don't see what else I need to apologize for. I probably would if I even knew, but at this point, I think he should be the one apologizing and groveling because I'm just not in the place to do that anymore. I have so much other stuff going on. This next response is within a thread that does actually respond to the Boxed Feetsies thread, and Opie's response clarifying that it was a varsity team walk. Traveler Protocol responds to that comment, for you to accept how your father has treated you is setting you up to accept crap treatment from men in the future. You're smart. You need to think about what kind of man you want at some point in your life, and avoid all men, including your father, who don't treat you the way you should be treated. He doesn't need to treat you like a princess, but he sure as hell should treat you like a human being who deserves to be cared for and protected. Serving you food that makes you sick and then blaming you is classic narcissist behavior. I'm really sorry you're dealing with this. User LOLFian2 comments, and they've been downvoted by a ton, negative 276 actually. She said terrible things, and she told him that she hated him. You realize that isn't being randomly abused, right? If she hated him so much, why does she want to live with him? If she doesn't hate him, why would she break his heart like that? She isn't 14, she's fucking 18. Edit. Yikes. Hit a nerve there, Reddit. Oh well, I guess all my opinions can't be popular. OP responds to that comment, yeah, but I apologized for that. I was miserable. He wasn't doing anything to make me feel better, and I was being yelled at by my ex for missing the dance, and I kind of did hate him then and there. I don't see how that's worse than what he's done, and he hasn't even apologized once except for the beef stock. User Lothian2 responds further, he apologized for the beef stock? Then what hasn't he apologized for? He hasn't apologized for sticking to his guns. He hasn't apologized for doing what he thinks is right. What do you want him to apologize for? For not calling your boyfriend for you? You realize that's like not something parents do for their adult children unless it's incredibly dangerous, yeah? I can appreciate you're struggling with his sudden change of attitude when you've been able to fix everything up until now with a, sorry daddy, I love you. But this is exactly what being an adult is all about. You aren't in a dangerous situation, and you're about to go off to college. You need to be able to handle things on your own. To which OP responds, yes, he apologized for not telling me about the beef stock when I asked if there was any red meat products in the meal, because I would have just made myself something else, no problem. But then I had to miss the dance, which made my ex blow up on me, so I broke up with him, and now he and all his friends are just constantly harassing me, and I'm sick of them calling me a slut and a whore, or making accounts to harass me outside of school. I tried handling it on my own, but then my ex involved his friends, and now it's worse than ever. I asked my mom and stepdad for help, and it was okay for a day or so, then got worse. The school doesn't care. I just wanted my dad to talk to my ex or something and get him to stop because I can hardly focus on school, much less sports, and now my family issues because of all of this. I might be an adult, but I'm still in high school, and yeah, maybe I'm not in danger, but I can't handle this. I went into it thinking that even if he didn't let me move back in, but at least tried to help me with my ex, I would want him at senior night, but he won't even help with that. But you're right, I'm an adult, and I can't depend on anyone else and just need to put up with all of this and deal with it because I got angry with my dad and yelled at him. I just want one person to be on my freaking side or have my back. For once. Update. 38 days later, December 2nd, 2025. I know it's been a while since I posted about my senior night, but basically I, female 18, got into a fight with my dad because he forgot there was something I was allergic to in the dinner he made and I had to miss my dance. And he kicked me out to live with my mom. He got super mad when I told him he wasn't going to walk with me at my senior night. Anyways, I don't even end up going and kind of forgot about it. Not to be super woke or anything, JK I love being woke, but trigger warning. My coach isn't like a super nice guy or anything, but my ex's friends, the ones who had been harassing after my mom had finally gotten my ex to leave me alone, accidentally did so in front of him. They were punished and I was really hoping that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. And a few days later, when I wasn't at school, they did something bad. I don't want to elaborate, and they were arrested, and the ones whose parents could afford to have them out on bail, but I know 2 of them didn't get bailed out. My ex wasn't there, but he was charged with something else. He's over 18, but still got bail, and they ended up dropping the charges on him. It might be my fault. I know it's stupid, but before it happened, I had deleted all of his messages because it was really stressful having them on my phone. My mom keeps pushing for them to get a warrant for the deleted messages, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and honestly, I don't know if it would even matter. I have a restraining order for all of them though, which is good. Oh, poor girl. There's a lady I'll call Golly. That says Gail. I blame Bionicle. I don't know if she's a social worker or actually a cop, but she's been really nice and helpful. She told me that if they don't take plea deals, there will be multiple trials, and I'd have to testify at all of them. I asked her when the trials would be because the school I'm going to was far away, but she said not to worry about that. I just don't want to be at my new life and have to miss classes or something. I also really don't want to testify and hope they take deals, even if it means they won't be punished as much. Like, I know they have rights and there's allegedly still a constitution in America, but the idea of testifying at multiple trials makes me want to die. I've seen videos of people making fun of women who testify too, and I can't handle that. So I really hope they take deals. I guess if they could just combine all the trials and I only had to testify at one, I would be okay with doing that, but Gail said that's not likely to happen, and not to get my hopes up. She wasn't mean about that or anything, I think she was just being realistic. My mom and stepdad have been really good about everything. My stepdad and I don't know each other that well, but he broke down and apologized and said he blames himself and should have done more. I don't think he should blame himself. I even told him that, but he's been doing nice things for me a lot and making a lot of food that I like without me doing anything in return, so I feel bad. My mom has been really nice and supportive, but I think she's taking all of this harder than I am, almost, and that is annoying. She just randomly cries, and it's annoying to me because nothing happened to her. I haven't said anything to her about that, though. I don't need her acting like I'm still a kid and cutting out my food for me. I can do that. Jesus Christ, girl. I haven't talked to my dad. I don't want to. The day before the party, I had begged my dad again to say something to one of the guys' dads because they work together, but he left me on red. So I guess I kinda blame him. I know that's wrong, but I don't want to see or hear from him, so I blocked him. I don't even want him to know what happened. I know the police went to my mom's house to tell her and was kind of hoping that since I was over 18, they wouldn't tell him, but since he was still my emergency contact, they did. I fixed that for the future. He's talked to my mom, but she said I don't need to talk to him or even think about him right now. He sent a bunch of letters to my mom's house for a week or whatever it was every day, but now it's less often. But I didn't read any, and my mom said she'd just set them aside for now. I told her she could throw them away, but I don't think she did. I mean, I'm sure he feels bad, but I don't want to hear him apologize or try to comfort me. I wanted his help before all of this, and to have tried to stop it from happening, but he didn't do anything. So that's why I blame him, and not my mom or stepdad. They at least tried to do something before all of this, even if what they did didn't work. I don't think I'll forgive him. I know he's hurting, but I can't worry about his feelings. I know this sounds bad, but I'm not his only kid, and he has my brothers too, so I don't feel guilty. I'm not stopping him from being a dad forever to anyone, you know? Plus, I'm an adult now, and I can choose who can or cannot comfort me. I have a therapist now. She's fine. I wish I could have a different one because her voice kind of annoys me. I don't think they let you change therapists because of that, though. I actually hate therapy, to be honest, and wish my mom would stop making it a big deal that I go. I don't want to tell her that it is kind of nice being the one in charge of my relationship with my dad and not vice versa. That's probably bad, but it's true. Plus, I kind of have a I don't give a fuck attitude lately, and I probably would just say to his face that I blame him and that this is his fault, which I know isn't fair. So not talking to him is the right thing to do. I also had to block my stepmom. She texted my aunt that it's nice just being them and their kids and not having my drama in their house. And it got back to me, so I'm just giving them what they want. I wonder if either of them actually ever really loved or cared about me. Maybe kicking me out when I turned 18 was the plan all along, and that's why he did it over something so stupid. And again, they have my brothers, so they're not missing out on anything with me, you know? Everyone at school knows, but they've all been nice. Not even just my team and friends, but everyone there has been nice though. Really nice. I don't think they're being fake or anything, but if they are, I told my therapist that it was fine because I'd rather them be nice and fake than mean and authentic right now. I was kind of nervous because I'm not popular or anything at school, but I'm not a loser or anything, but kind of do my own thing. The only other person in my class who's going to my college is the one popular guy, and he promised me he wouldn't tell anyone at our college about this. I know people will probably still find out, but that was nice. He's been talking to me more, even outside of school, we were on break part of last week, and he still reached out. It kind of feels like he's trying to hype me up for college, which is nice because, at first, I'm kind of thinking about taking a year or something off, but I know I should. I think his parents both went to the school and he's like obsessed with it, so he keeps sending me things going on there. His older sister also goes there, and he said he's going to go a week early and stay with her and invited me. I know it's a while away and told him I'd think about it. I don't really want to, but it's one of those things where I feel like even if I don't enjoy it, it would be good for me long term to go and meet people before freshman week starts. So, I don't know what I'll do about my dad. I was thinking about calling him at Christmas, but maybe I won't. My brothers have told my grandma they want to see me at Christmas, but it might be because I always get them good gifts. LOL. Maybe I can go over to their house for a little. Mom and her husband don't do much like decorate or celebrate Christmas, and my dad's side is really festive, so I kind of miss that. I'll probably do more of the Christmassy things in town with my best friend's family. I know my mom and stepdad would do them if I asked, but maybe I'll just go with her family, so I don't know. My mom asked me if there was anything my dad could do for me to want to listen to or talk to him, and I told her I'd think about it. Luckily, she's only asked once, so I'm not saying never. I'm just not interested right now, but I'm excited about the future and going to college, and think I'll just focus on that. /relevant comments. Does this hound mom 5? No. Dachshund mom 5. Does your dad know what your stepmother said? If he does, and he's done nothing, there's nothing to say to him. Let him have his wretched wife and go on with life without him. A good parent doesn't kick their child out of the house when that parent has endangered them because of gross negligence. He's already a failure in many ways. At his wife, and not sure what his redeeming quality is. Your grandfather could facilitate seeing your brothers without seeing your dad. As you have said in the post, you may not be in the headspace to see him. Adding the pressure of Christmas on top of that, it's probably not the best idea. Your mom is emotional because she knows you've been hurt and it's bad. But she can't do any of it for you. Good moms want to take the bullet for their kids and spare them hurt and hardship. She can't do that now, and it's hard. No, it didn't happen to her, but it happened to her baby, and watching her baby hurt is very difficult. It's not on you to comfort her or support her or shield her. I'm just trying to explain. I hope you have a good Christmas and can start counting down to college with sincere joy and excitement. Fingers crossed they take please and you get peace from that part. Opie responds, I doubt she knows that I know even. My cousin just saw the text on her mom's phone and told me. She might have just been venting or something, but I don't care. I don't know if they'll let me just see them without them there, but I can ask my grandma. I don't know if they'll let know what's happened, and I won't tell them or anything, but maybe they don't want my brothers to be a part of it. I don't know. 8 Marshmallows, who's a downvoted commenter with -31. Maybe you should talk to the therapist about what the point of therapy is in your situation, and she may be able to give you an answer you can connect with. You actually sound pretty depressed here versus your previous post when you were just upset and angry, which is concerning. I definitely think you need space from your dad right now, but if you cut him out of your life out of anger... Oh, okay, I see why this was downvoted. You're stooping to his level. I'm not saying to have him back in your life, but that his petty childish methods do not need to be your methods. Do not co-opt his use of reactionary excising of people in his life as a means to hurt them because he can't manage his own hurt feelings. It's really unhealthy. If you don't want him in your life, be thoughtful about it so you know why. I've done the tit-for-tat battle, and it never made me feel better to be someone else's mirror. I get the impression that Marshmallows didn't pick up on the context. OP responds, I don't think it's that though. I just feel like that he could have stopped all of this, but didn't want to. And if he's like, oh, I'm sorry this happened, I'd be like, are you? I told him they were bothering me for weeks, and he didn't do anything, and now wants to act like he cares because it looks bad that I won't talk to him or see him? I don't believe he actually cares about me and what happened to me. 8 Marshmallows responds, your dad definitely put himself and his feelings first. He didn't want to have an uncomfortable conversation with a colleague, so he didn't. These are definitely all reasons not to trust your dad. I would not consider him a safe person anymore, nor your stepmom. I'm just saying, if you want to cut him off, do it for the reasons beneficial to you, not to hurt him. When making decisions about Christmas and whatnot, leave its effect on him out of your considering factors. You need to not feel responsible for his feelings and decide what to do independent of whether it hurts or helps him. I know your dad has let you down and you no longer trust what he says or his intentions, and that is valid. I'm so sorry all of this happened to you. It may be possible for you to testify remotely, FYI. I would start laying the groundwork for that with the victim coordinator, which is most likely what Gail is. OP responds, maybe that is what she is, I don't know. I feel bad because when I first met her, she definitely told me, but I wasn't really paying attention, and now it feels awkward to ask. She tells me not to worry about testifying now, but it's just looming over everything I do, and I wish I could just get it over with, or they would take deals or something so I wouldn't have to. I mean, I want to help and all, but I feel like I haven't really helped at all so far. I sort of asked about remote testifying, and she kind of said that some of the judges in our area or whatever aren't big on it, so we'll see. I'm not sure if it would be better or worse, to be honest. A thread started by Loosefold6570 that OP responded to. Do you know what your dad is saying now? OP. About what? About the whole matter. Even though you're not reading his letters, do you know what he's saying about your ex and your feelings towards him, your dad? Does he know he effed up and you blame him? OP responds, I don't know. I know he knows what happened, but I haven't talked to him, and anytime someone tries to talk to me for him, I have just been ignoring and blocking them. Loosefold responds, I'm curious what position he's holding now. Your ex has proven he's not a good person, but your dad should know this all started because of him, and he turned what initially started as a small situation into something so much worse. OP responds, I don't know. I don't read the letters. He could still think he did nothing wrong. Even if he did, it's not like he's sending them every day like he was before. So I feel like probably in a few months they'll just stop, and in time he'll just forget about it all. He might already be starting to forget, and maybe that's for the best. My therapist had me write my dad a letter but not send it, and it wasn't very nice, and that's how I know I probably shouldn't talk to him for a while. I feel like I blame him more than my ex and his friends for what happened. Yes, they're awful, but it's supposed to be my dad's job to take care of me and keep me safe, and instead, he threw me away like trash, and maybe he's just trying to connect with me because it looks bad that I won't talk to him. I don't know. I'm sure he'll get over it. This time next year, he probably won't even be thinking about it, or me. Unfortunately, I doubt I'll forget about it, ever. Update 2. After 1 month, 29 days. After 25 days from the last post. December 27th, 2025. Hi everyone, I hope you all had good holiday whatever you celebrate. I love Christmas time. I'm not very religious or anything, I just feel like it's a great time of year. A lot of people have asked me for an update, but I don't really have anything huge, but things are mostly fine. Most days I feel totally fine. But I've decided that this whole chapter or whatever is over now. I read all my dad's letters. My mom and stepdad were gone for a weekend for her birthday, and I don't really sleep much. They were whatever. I can tell he's hurting, but I don't have time for all of that. I would have killed for him to say any of that stuff before all of this, but I didn't feel anything reading them now. Like asking me to move back in doesn't mean anything now. It would have before, but now I don't even want to. My stepmom had sent a few too, but they were mostly just about wanting me to reach out to my dad and how badly he was hurting. And one of them basically said that this all happened because I didn't tell my dad the severity of everything wrong, and they can't help me in the future if I don't talk to them. And in all my dad's letters, he's constantly talking about how he wants me to move back in, etc. But in my stepmom's, she just says I should come over and visit. So I threw them all away. My best friend's grandparents got into a really bad car accident, sad face. Her family went out to Ohio to spend Christmas with them instead of coming to her, which is good, but they were who I was going to do Christmas stuff with. They said I could come with them, but that felt very intrusive, so I said it was totally fine. They did ask me to house sit, but they don't have any pets or plants or anything, so I think they were just saying it's fine if I stay there some nights like I normally do. My mom and stepdad work a lot and aren't that into holidays, but they put up a tree, which they never do, so that was nice. I found some decorations that were probably my grandma's in the basement and put them up too, so our house at least looked festive. My mom and stepdad are at least pretending to like them, but I'll take them down soon before they get too annoyed. That guy from my school who's going to college with me, I'll call Dan, His family doesn't do Christmas stuff either, but that's because they're Jewish. But there's this lights thing in my city, and it's kinda stupid, but I always used to do it with my dad and brothers and stepmom, and was going to do it with my friend, but she had to leave town. But Dan got us tickets, and that was really nice. We had a good time, but I didn't really think about my dad and his family being there, but they were. I was able to avoid them and didn't let it ruin my night though. Christmas wasn't that great. I guess in the past I've just been more into it and getting people gifts and seeing people. I think a lot of people weren't feeling it. I feel like not as many people put up lights on their houses, and normally I can't go 2 feet without being handed cookies and stuff, but this year I didn't do any of that. So it felt like it was December 1st, then bam, Christmas Eve. Normally I'm with my mom Christmas Eve, then my dad's Christmas Day, and go to my grandma's on that side, so I called her and asked if I could still come for a bit in the morning, since they usually go to my stepmom's side for a bit then, and she said of course. She even went and got my brothers and told my dad and stepmom they could come after I left. It was really, really nice of her. I was having a lot of fun and it felt like there was nothing wrong, but then one of my brothers asked me when I was leaving so his parents could come. So I left. He's a kid, and I'm sure he just wanted to open more presents, so it's not his fault, but it hurt a lot because I was excited to see them, and I think I'm just going to distance myself from them for a while. Not because I'm mad, but just for now. For myself. My dad and stepmom had sent gifts with them for me, but I didn't open them and left them there. I didn't get them anything, so it felt wrong, but also, I wanted to hurt them. My mom and stepdad go to his family on Christmas Day, and I didn't want to just home alone, so I just kind of drove around for a while. But Dan was free. Normally when we hang out, we just get stoned and he makes vegan versions of non-vegan meals, but the grocery stores were all closed, so we saw that ping pong movie. I quit therapy. Sorry, it was so expensive and I was getting nothing out of it. And I had gone to this support group Gail told me about, and it's really been helping, like exponentially more than therapy. I don't know if I'm supposed to pay someone for it, but I don't know who to ask. But even if I have to pay, I'll keep going. The people are nice, and I can just listen if I don't want to talk. Gail said she'd help me find one in my new city, but maybe I'll just do a fresh start when I go to school. I'm glad I found the support group, but one of the people there said something along the lines of how expensive lawyers cost, and I guess before that, I didn't realize that these guys' parents not only paid their bail, which I guess they'll get back, but apparently thousands of dollars for lawyers to try to get them off. And anyways, this is stupid, but I got mad that they're paying all that money for their kids and it just goes to lawyers. And I'm sitting here paying for therapy because of what their sons did. And 2 of these guys still have girlfriends. One of them goes to my best friend's high school. Last year I went to her prom with her as friends and the girl reached out and asked me not to go this year. I just blocked her and Gail told me they're not allowed to tell me where I can and can't go, but if that guy is going to go, I obviously won't, and I'm not trying to make more drama by poking that bear, but in all of that drama, my mom was saying that after trauma, you're not supposed to date for a year, which it's like to each their own. Also, I think she's thinking of drug addicts, which I'm not. So those are really the only few times I've been sad lately, and not that much. Like, I don't cry or anything. I kind of want to change my last name. Not to my stepdad's though. I could ask my mom what her maiden name was, but maybe I could pick a new one. Gail said she might be able to talk to a judge for me, so that was nice. I know I'll change my last name when I get married, but that won't be for a long time, and I'm hoping I can change it before college. Either way, I'm going to be okay. Smiley face. Ugh, someone get the aluminum bat. Comments. Little Miss Savior Fair. I'm glad you and Dan are hanging out. Sounds like you're craving normalcy, but like a new normalcy where you're away from this town and all these people you have a complicated history with. Which honestly is totally legit, and you should try to remember that whenever someone tries to put family you. The whole no dating after trauma is part of a larger gestalt of no big lifestyle changes after grief or trauma, which is mostly a rule of thumb that tries to steer people away from escapism and to make sure they process everything so it doesn't come back to bite them later. But because of your life stage, you really ought to go to college. You can't get a divorce, you can't quit your job, you can't go on a year-long road trip like it's some kind of midlife crisis, lol. So basically, the advice boils down to, don't just disappear into a relationship to avoid being alone with yourself. And you sound like you're doing pretty good at sitting with things and working through them at your own pace. You're doing good, kid. Take care of yourself. OP responds, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm going to be making a big change and going to college, but at this point, that's kinda it. And I don't want to really date anybody in particular, especially since I'll be leaving, but it's kind of like I can't actually casually date someone because I would have to tell them everything, and then it's not casual. Maybe in college because I won't have to tell people there because nobody will know I could casually date someone just beyond a friends with benefits or something. We'll see. User Boopity Goopity comments, go to prom with a group of people, so you're not stuck with just one person to hide behind. You deserve to have your senior prom experience, and you can always dip early for an after party if things get weird. There's always the option, if you have friends at other schools, to go to another school's prom. OP responds, that's kind of the problem. I was excited to go to my friend's prom again since, I thought, fewer people there would know. It doesn't matter because I won't go to that one either now, but I'll probably go to mine. I just hate that girl thinks she can tell me what to do. JillioNH comments, is the other girl's boyfriend somebody there is a restraining order against? If you go, then he can't go. That's probably why she asked you not to go. But you are totally allowed to do what's best for you. Not only allowed, but you should put yourself first. Kinda sounds like you haven't been doing that. I bet if your best friend let the school know that there was a restraining order and why, they wouldn't want him there anyway. OP responds, yeah, Gail said they can't tell me where I can and can't go, and my best friend's mom said she would talk to the school for me. It's not my school. But at this point, maybe I'll just go to mine. I don't want everyone there to know about my drama. User VividFarm6291, you are amazing, you truly are. So strong and thoughtful. So your dad's letters are all about him and how he feels? Totally him. Big hugs, OP. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope a fresh start for college helps. If you remember, please update me when you can. Your dad is thumbs down. OP responds, I mean, his letters were kind of all over the place, but my stepmom's were all about him. User ZSlyZ comments, wow, I just read all your posts. Your father is a bit of a dick. Both for not helping you when being harassed and for kicking you out over an argument. To quote your father, actions have consequences, and he deserves his consequences. I know you're still hurting, but your parents aren't infallible. They're human and make mistakes too. Ultimately, you got hurt because your father thought that because you turned 18, you're suddenly an adult and can do everything yourself and don't need support or advice. But apparently, he expected you to treat him with deference, doing what he wanted, but not bothering him with your problems. He's only hurting now because his adult daughter has decided she doesn't need him anymore, after he kicked her out of his home when she was going to college soon anyway. My only advice is, do what you need to do to heal, but in my experience, these reactions of cutting people off hurt you as much as they hurt the other person, so please consider leaving the door open to reconcile with your father. You posted your pain to Reddit, so maybe consider writing a letter to him, telling him how much you're hurting because of his choices. Ultimately, he's a full-grown and developed adult, and you're his 18-year-old daughter whose brain hasn't fully developed yet. So, psychologically speaking, you will make bad decisions and overreact to things until about 25 when your brain is fully developed. But you also need to realize this. You're hurting, but try not to make decisions that will have lifelong consequences. Try to enjoy the next few years and experience as much as you can. Get involved in international aid groups and go see the world during college breaks. OP responds, thanks. I haven't told him I'm cutting him off. I'm just refusing to talk to him or be around him. Maybe that'll be permanent, but maybe not. Either way, I'm changing my last name. Comment from Phoenix Taurus. I'm more annoyed with your mom. She should be spending more time with you over the holidays, period, and not leaving you alone. But then talking about trauma? LOL. OP responds, it's not like she left me alone or anything. I was invited to go to my stepdad's family and would have if my grandma didn't let me come over. But usually on Xmas, I'm there like all day, and I was only there for like maybe 2 hours. His aunt lives 1.5 hours away, and they had already left when I left my grandma's and didn't want to drive for 3 hours, especially because They didn't know I was coming, and I didn't have gifts or anything for them. Phoenix Taurus, I'm not trying to be funny, but you've had a very tough period in your life with your dad and the other things as well. I just wouldn't have taken no for an answer and would have just taken you with me. A change of scenery would have been amazing for you. OP responds, no, I meant that we both left at the same time. I went to my grandparents and she went with my stepdad. We both said we'd probably be home around 5 or 6, and I left at like 2 because my brothers wanted my dad and stepmom to come over, and I didn't want to see them. It all ended up fine. I had more fun with Dan than I would have at my stepdad's aunt's. And the ping pong movie was good, but very stressful. Update 3. After 5 months, 7 days. 3 months and 8 days from the last post. April 4th, 2026. My dad wants me to go to therapy with him and my stepmom. Sorry, I just need to get this off my chest to people who know my whole situation. I helped my grandma set up the Easter egg hunt this morning, and she told me that my dad and stepmom are having problems. They have a couples therapist, and they asked her to ask me to attend a session with them. She said she wouldn't blame me if I didn't want to, and I probably won't. But there's this really sick part of me that wants to, and to just throw in their faces that apparently I wasn't their problem. How happy I am now. How being away from them and their bullshit has made me such a better person despite everything. My mom and I basically never fight anymore. My stepdad and I are getting really close and have a ton of fun together, and at this point, I'll be graduating top 5 in my class. Like, compared to me, those two have had it so easy. Nothing has happened to them. And I'm over here thriving and they want to pull me back into their mess? No thanks. The only reason I might do it outside of morbid curiosity is my grandma basically said she would appreciate it because she thinks it would help them. But she did make it clear it was my decision and she wouldn't blame me one way or another. I haven't told my mom or stepdad. I probably won't tell my mom. She'll just think the fact they have to go to couples therapy is hilarious. But my stepdad might have good insight. I don't know. I'll probably just ignore it, but it was a funny little Easter surprise for me. Comments. User NoGuard304. Personally, I'd stay right out of your dad and his wife's issues. It is totally weird that their therapist would want you involved in a session, and I think your stepmother has laid a trap to try and lay the blame on you for their failing relationship. She always wanted you out of their house. I hope your grandmother doesn't push you further. Just keep saying it isn't appropriate for you to be present. OP responds, I don't know why they'd be having issues if she got what she always wanted though. I don't think my grandma is being mean or anything. I think she just wants me to talk to my dad and thinks it would be the most controlled environment to do so if I do, but I also think therapy is stupid, so I probably won't go. Comment from Single Historian 456. Yeah, I'd stay away from this mess, but if you're stuck in the middle still, talk to your stepdad. Also, if you really want to make a point and close this chapter and share your dad's last name, change it to your mom's maiden name or something. OP responds, I kinda dropped the last name thing. When I tried talking to my mom about it to find out her maiden name, she kind of got excited and assumed that I'd be changing it to her, my stepdad's last name. And if I want to do that, because I'm not ready for that. And I'll probably just change my last name when I get married anyways, so it might be annoying to change it twice. Comment from user FitBat244. Side tangent, but I'm happy to see your life is going better for you, or at least you're getting back some sense of normalcy. If you want to go for closure, then go. If you just want to express how disappointed, let down, and unwanted you felt, you would write a letter. These are your feelings, your real and justified feelings. They hurt you, and your feelings will make them feel bad, selfish, manipulative, and neglectful. So, what they are, your stepdad that had less of a relationship with you stepped out of his comfort zone to cheer you up. And what did your father do besides trying to ease his guilt for not doing anything and acting like you never asked for his help to avoid all of this? And what did your stepmom do? She never stepped out of her comfort zone. She liked having her nuclear household and wanted you to be a visitor, thinking the plan was to get you out at 18 for any reason wasn't inaccurate at all. You can respond to them or ignore them, but think of your feelings, not theirs. They deserve what they are going through. You don't, especially when they insensitively add to your stress. OP responds, I mean, I kind of got the tea. My grandma didn't want me to go and told me. My dad has cancer, but it's like stage 2. He doesn't need an organ or anything, but they were hoping I'd stay and help out, especially with my brothers. But I don't want to delay going to college, and my grandma didn't want me to either. So I still haven't talked to them, and probably won't. Final update. 7 months, 18 days from the original, 2 months and 11 days from the last. June 15th, 2026. A few people reached out, and definitely some stuff has happened. A few months ago, my grandma has asked me if I would do a therapy session with my dad and stepmom. I thought about it, since I've been doing pretty well lately, and it would have been nice to show off, but I don't really like therapy, and didn't see any upsides to it, so I told her no. But then she wanted to meet me, but then was angry when we met up, but told me that my dad had cancer. The prognosis is good though, and they caught it super early. But she was glad I had said no because she found out when she told them that I wouldn't go that they had planned on asking me to take a semester or so off to stay and help with my dad and brothers, and she was furious at them over that part. It was kind of a lot to take in, and my dad had been sending me more letters recently that I'd been throwing away, and I'd blocked their numbers, but I understood that he wanted to tell me about the cancer. So last week, I kind of wanted to send a red receipt without opening any doors for us talking, and sent him a get well card that I signed. I'm hoping that signals, message received and good luck with all that. I don't know if I should be more upset, but it sounds like it'll be fine. Maybe if all this hadn't happened, I probably would have stayed back though. I did stop going to the support group, but I'm not closing the door to it. I just kind of want to move on from the whole situation and not think about the trial that feels like it's going nowhere. I think my outlook is different now about how I want to be. I don't need to always be worrying about other people and making them happy. I just need to do what I want or think is right, and if some people don't like me, it's not a big deal. It makes a lot more sense in my head, I don't know. And I think it's a good way to be, because I decided I would go to my BFF's prom with her. And the guy's girlfriend who had warned me not to did send me a thread about it. Before, I probably would have just been like, oh well, it's her prom, she has a point. But instead, I was like, fuck that, and reported it to her school. She couldn't go to prom and couldn't even walk at her graduation. She threatened to put beef in my food, which was stupid because there was just appetizers at prom, not like a plated meal. Other than that, my life is going pretty well. I graduated, which was so weird because people kept making it a big thing because it seems like the bare minimum. I don't know. My mom and stepdad threw me a party and that was fun, but it was so weird being congratulated about it. I did get third in my class, but that kind of feels like the nerd equivalent of the quarterback who almost went to state, lol. I did lock in and I think I destroyed my AP exam, so fingers crossed on that. I feel like people are kind of hard on my mom, to be honest. The thing is, we're basically polar opposites, but we used to be super close despite that. She'd always tell me she didn't care about getting remarried, and I feel like I paid too much into that. So, when she got with my stepdad, I just pulled back a ton, and I know it hurt her. It was because, or like I told myself, it was to give them space, but it was because I was mad, and it was around then she became CTO and started traveling for work a lot, so we just weren't close anymore. I know it's not all my fault, and maybe she shouldn't have said that, but I probably wasn't fair because she deserves to be happy. And I've always known my stepdad really loves her so much. It's kind of weird because I was telling my friend how anytime someone says I'm acting like one of my parents, it's always a negative thing. Like, obviously my parents hate each other, so duh, but even like my stepmom would be like, oh, stop acting like your father. But anytime Jeff compares me to my mom, it's always positive or endearing or something. And that's nice sometimes because we've been spending a lot more time together and it's been awesome. Sometimes I wonder why he waited until now to spend more time with me, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So that's all to say that my mom and I got into a fight the other day about the whole therapy thing, and I was like, it's expensive and dumb, and she was like, why aren't you using the HSA? And I guess I'm the dumb one because one of my insurance cards is kind of a debit card for health stuff. I mean, like, I guess she could have explained it better, but I probably also could have asked. But I was able to submit the receipts and got reimbursed, so that's cool. And the reason we were even fighting again is because we've gotten a lot closer lately. She told me she'd give me money for school and stuff, but told me I shouldn't worry about working this summer. I'm going to go with her on some work trips, which will be fun, and she wants me to enjoy the last summer before college. That guy I was hanging out with, Dan, yeah, he and I are still together, but like officially, I don't know. I kind of figured we'd keep things casual, friends with benefits, but that's not really his style, and it's going well. He's a really good boyfriend, and I can't complain. Like, he's always planning things, so it's not like I'm just disassociating in my room. Sometimes it can be a bit much, to be honest, and I finally told him that I need to see my friends more this summer, especially the ones who are going away to school that I won't see. And it's gotten better since we talked about that. I'm super excited about college. My BFF got into a school in the same city. They're not right next to each other, but close enough we'll probably share an apartment after sophomore year or something. I'm so happy for her because she's smart enough, but the program she wanted was super competitive, I think, and she had to be waitlisted, so things don't have to change much. We've always gone to different schools, so I bet it'll be the same thing where people always forget we don't go to their school because we're always together. Haha. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good summer, even though it's going by fast. I'm excited for the fall and really plan on diving in full force and having a lot of fun. Comments. User Busy Shrew. Oh, this is a good update. And F that selfish piece of shit stepmother. And yeah, the father too. Brilliant move of OP to send a card of acknowledgement. Very, very class. OP responds, LOL, I hope you're right. When I told my stepdad, he kinda spit his coffee back into his mug, but then tried to hide it, so I wasn't sure if it was too far out of pocket. User Do-Over-24. I'm so glad you're doing so much better. I think you've got a good year ahead of you. Just a thing to consider, your college may offer therapy, and that could be a great avenue to consider. It's not so much we're going to talk about your trauma all the time and force you to confront it, but can be more, that event changed the way you think about the world. Now you're in an entirely new environment and independent in a whole new way. Let's focus on building habits and a way of looking at situations that sets you up for the life you want. You can share as much or as little of that event. You can unpack the relationship with your dad and stepmom. By the way, they suck. Your stepmom is selfish and your dad is too weak to stand up to her. He has always put her before you. You just didn't realize it at the time. It sucks, and I'm sorry. OP responds, if I do therapy, it'll be my decision, not because people keep telling me to be honest. Right now, I'm just super negative towards it and don't see it helping. Maybe that'll change. User CatPerson88. Growing closer to your mom and getting to know your stepdad is wonderful, even though it came on the heels of your dad kicking you out. Your dad sounds extremely selfish. He told you that actions have consequences, but he doesn't think that applies to himself. I agree with you, it's possible, especially after his wife's comment. Their dad was looking for an excuse to kick you out, and their argument was the most convenient way to do it. It's gross. He and his wife have a lot of nerve even thinking of telling OP they should take a semester off to help them after the way they treated OP. OP responds, I don't know. They never said anything about me needing to move out when I turned 18. I mean, I kind of figured when I went to college they'd make my room a guest room or give it to one of my brothers, but I don't think this was all some grand plan. CatPerson88 comments further, they wouldn't say anything to you about needing to move out unless it was a definitive plan. It's possible this was in your father's mind and he never discussed it with his wife. Or they may have had discussions about it behind closed doors and because they disagreed and you never knew. It's sad though. OP responds, I guess anything's possible. User Lady Norbert. She's with Dan! I know several of us were hoping that was the case. It sounds like she's doing really well on several levels, and I'm so happy for her. OP responds, you and my mom, LOL. Final comment, Paint Rose Red. Guess I'm just wondering about the Dan versus John thing. How did that play out? There might be some context from some previous comments that were missing. It was just a crush, I got over it, with the help of my good friends, Daft Punk and Julian Casablancas. Paint Rose Red comments, I'm glad you're doing well and that you're holding your boundaries with your dad and his wife. OP responds, thanks, that boundary is a lot easier than others. So, bit of an oops that today's runtime is as long as it is. That was not quite an expectation. I was honestly kind of hoping for like a 35-minute video today and just kind of relaxing and, you know, this is what happens. So maybe if I hope for an hour-long video tomorrow, wink wink nudge nudge, I'll get a 30-minute video so I can actually have some time to myself. That'd be super cool. But with my luck, I'll end up with an hour 30-minute video or some shit like that. But the main consensus here is OP's father can go fuck himself, and the stepmother can also go fuck herself. Just two horrendous people that after everything the daughter's been through, they have the gall and audacity to ask that of her, or at least attempt to ask that of her. Like, come on. Also, OP, while you might have a negative relationship with therapy right now, just because of what you potentially went through, I would recommend at least keeping something ready in case a lot of those emotions suddenly swell up. Because as you get older and as you enter your 20s, there's a chance a lot of those emotions that you bottled up are just going to be released, and they're going to hit you in some pretty unfortunate ways, and it's just going to kind of be difficult to navigate that. Potentially speaking from experience here. I also hope her ex's buddies get what they deserve, and I hope they live a life of misery. As for me, my legs are on fire. I have been standing in my vocal booth for a while now, and I have been up since 1 p.m. yesterday, so I think the call of sleep is definitely beginning to knock on my door here. And I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll check the comments when I wake up, and hopefully there's not some kind of massive problem like me saying foul instead of full. Anyways, my bitches and bros and non-binary hoes, I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Oh, don't forget gamer subs. Use code OZ at checkout. Every purchase made supports the channel directly, and stuff. I'm too tired to run a proper ad spot, but it'd be super cool if you made a purchase with gamer subs using code OZ at checkout. Their clothing's actually super comfy. And stuff like that. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, everyone, even though it's morning.